I didn't realize how much he had to modify because it didn't meet the rule book for FD at all. Like, not even in the least. And I can say this now because nobody runs this shit anymore, but like...
I already got a question right off the hop.
I gotta sync the camera.
Sync the camera? You gotta do your clap, right?
Because it's not, it doesn't record inside the camera, so I gotta fucking trim it and make sure it's aligned every time.
So you gotta...
I gotta clap, so... Hey man, we're fucking budget over here.
Well, that's alright.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the 881 Casting Couch. We have a special guest today, Mr. Matt Murphy.
We're not on a couch.
Yeah, I know. Like we changed the couch like two episodes ago.
We're sitting out some Napa seats here, right?
See, that's perfect for brand placement.
Look at that, Napa seats.
So for those who don't know Matt is kind of like a racing legend in Fort Mac, if we can say, for the small town that we have. He's probably like one of the first guys to drift in town, which is pretty cool because it inspired pretty much 881 and everybody that actually started drifting. And now he owns a fucking simulator business.
Pretend race cars, you know.
Pretend race cars.
So when did you start racing?
So I guess legitimately started racing around 2010.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Ford Mustang and drifting, right? Obviously.
Did you start drifting or just like road racing?
No, I was drifting.
You were drifting? Okay,
Yeah.
why the fuck would you drift a Mustang, first of all? That's gonna be our first question.
It's what I had, man. I bought a Mustang in 2006.
Like a new Edge or?
It was a new Edge, the SN95.
Yeah.
And then, everybody was still running SRs and imports and everything. And there was one guy in the States, Doug Vandenbrink, that was running the new Edge Mustang.
In the old, like in the original FD or?
Yeah,
like in
like,
the back old.
So I don't know if you guys have seen like the old Hyperfest videos and stuff from Summit Point. Yeah. So he had a red new Edge, big wide body and everything on it. The thing looks sick.
Huh.
I think I know what car it is, but I'm not positive. I think.
Yeah, whatever. I'll find a picture of it.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. They can like edit it in
Just
afterwards.
vibe it
These
in.
guys are cool like that. Right?
Yeah.
So
I don't have minds, but we're good at editing.
I'm old. I don't know how to edit that stuff in, but these guys will figure it out.
What did you run for, like angle? Stock?
So that's kind of the problem. I didn't realize how much he had to modify because it didn't meet the rule book for FD at all. Like, not even in the least. And I can say this now because nobody runs this shit anymore. But like, it was
different pickup points or?
Oh, it was so bad, man.
Oh.
So and let's go back because between 2008 and 2010, I was actually working with Ryan Lontang.
Yeah.
Right,
He was up here, right?
He was up here. He was driving haul truck for Cow Harbor.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. And then
Wow. All right. Well.
found out he grew up in New Brunswick too, and like he was living in Quebec at the time or whatever. But, super cool guy, and we had some conversations about like, quality of life versus, money and all that kind of stuff. And he was already, contracting himself out to different manufacturers and stuff, and then starting with FD. So they do like arrive and drives and stuff. Go out and he'd be part of, he'd present as the factory or manufacturer or whatever for like dealership events and stuff, and then Porsche, Ford, Ferrari, whoever it was.
Use them car and go test it or kind of stuff or what?
Well, they'd bring out their dealer network and have them out to events and stuff like that, and they'd do that.
So he was doing that while he was up here, or?
So he was doing that in the summers, but again, the winters are so long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, and I think he was trying to pay off his 2 GTOs because at that time he was sponsored by BF Goodrich, right? And he had a 2-car team, both Pontiac GTOs, like an 04 and an 06.
Same kind of like Shane.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. And then, so it was right around the same time he sold. I can't remember if he sold them both to Matt Hassey, So they were in Alberta for a while too and running out here. Yeah.
Because you know Terry Slayer as well, right? Where did
Rob Parsons.
Where do you know him from? Like
So-
like all the OG guys.
So-
how the fuck did that even happen?
So Rob Parsons used to drift in DMCC West. So
Oh really?
in the beginning of time.
Yeah, he's like 65 years old. Or something.
Long time ago.
I'm 35. I don't have much on these guys. So DMCC East and DMCC West, and the West was kind of the redheaded stepchild. Which, anyway, I'm not going to go into all of that. Right? But I made a lot of good friends from back in those days, and then through, went from DMCC to Drift West, and then to Spec D again after that, right? And all, portions of the same groups and whatnot along the way, and yeah, it was great times. But my first my first DMCC event was not that great, and it came back to the angle that we were talking about in Mustang and the lack thereof. And Ryan came back and he asked me, he's like, "What did you do for angle mods?" And this was like a couple days before the event.
Nothing.
And I was nothing, man. Like I had this stock angle Mustang that I've been drifting on the street for, the last 5 years, right? And you can't push a car that hard on the street, and it's one of those things that you won't know for sure until
you go on track and you actually probably
right.
Did you have scales at that time or no?
No, man. We the scales came in somewhere around 2012, 2013, I think. Yeah, so at this time there's not even there's a lot of people that go out and drag race and stuff, but still not even man, to find a street race in this town that wasn't a pickup truck from light to light was hard. Right?
Low-key still kind of.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
You pull up to the light and anything semi-modified, a pickup truck is going to try
a
race.
pickup truck is what's going to race.
Fucking buddy with his Cummins, that his dad just bought him.
Yeah.
It's like that there.
Listen, I'll say I'm semi-guilty of it, too. I'm in my truck, and I'm just like, yeah, let's go. And I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, you don't know what I got at home, buddy.
Oh, my God. But
you know what? And maybe there's a few people like that. But it is generally speaking, when somebody rolls up in a diesel truck or whatever, I have my windows down. They end up blowing exhaust in my window, and then I get pissed off.
Yeah.
I cut them off and road rage. And,
this mine don't roll cold.
Their race didn't end how they expected it to.
Was Nikolai in town at that point or no? Because Nikolai, so you, Nikolai, and Mark all pretty much started drifting in town around the same time, correct? Or I think they came 2 years after you or something like that.
I don't know when Mark started. So Mark was driving a lot in Ontario.
Started in Ontario, right?
Yeah, I started in Ontario before he came up here.
What was it? CS or whatever. But that was the track groups and stuff there. And I was always jealous because he... but I don't think he drove the big track, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
I don't think so. He was running Sharonville, or what's it called?
So there's Shannonville.
Which
is a wicked track too. Canadian Tire Motorsports is awesome.
Where's that?
That's in Bowmanville.
Oh.
And so I ran there in a Formula Enterprise, but
really?
Yeah, it rained that day, so I didn't really get to experience the. I didn't get the whole experience. It was only a half day thing.
So what, you were all by yourself drifting in town, or?
Yeah. So back to the drifting, man. I'll go all over the place, but
keep going. It's your episode this time.
So Nikolai showed up. I'm not sure what year it would have been, but or how we met.
I think it was 2012 or 13.
It would have been mistaken. It would have been somewhere handy to that. Anyway, he came over to the garage, and he was stoked on it. There was a fella in Europe, I can't remember his name, but he showed me videos of his yellow S13.
And it was just all over.
Yeah. He got to see him or whatever when he was in Bulgaria or Europe somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But he watched those guys drift. And I can't remember when he picked up that 240. It wasn't It wasn't long after.
No, he told me what I think it was maybe within that year that he picked it up because. The backstory, my car is actually Nikolai's old car, and he's very, very passionate about that car, so every time he sees me putting the Jay-Z in it, he fucking gives me shit, but that's another topic. But yeah, so he moved from Bulgaria up here, and his dream car was an S13, and he started making a little bit of money up here, so he just bought it instantly.
Yeah, that was right. And again, but he started, I think he was driving a haul truck or whatever, and whatever he could put into it at the time, because he had, he had other priorities too besides the drift car.
And he's from Bulgaria, so they have like a different mentality whenever it comes to money.
100%.
It's different culture, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So I remember he told me, I put every expensive part that I could in my car. That's fucking hilarious. But still cut and welded the lower arm. I still run those, man. I fucking love those.
Yeah, and
it worked great. So.
I mean, there were all kinds of things that you could do for angle without, going out and buying a WiseFab kit or, whatever. The Mustang, that proved harder with. But
what did you do? You just ended up running.
It was a tubular lower control arm set, and I actually called Doug because, and I convinced him to make a few sets of this.
So you can run one.
So because I knew he was running Racecraft drop spindles and some other stuff, but the first attempt I made was I went on the internet, of course, as everybody does.
Yeah. And
Ford puts rack spacers, or they're not spacers like what you guys are used to, because the rack's on the other side of the crossmember. Okay. So what they actually did was limit your turning radius. So they were like basically lock limiters.
Can you take them out?
Absolutely, you can take them out. And I said,
how do you think I ran for years?
This is going to be like the easiest way to increase the angle on this car. And then I went out and ran my first event. Right? So, like, first time really on a legitimate closed course.
Yep.
And my first time drifting after making this sick new modification. And what we found was that they were there for a purpose.
Oh.
Okay. So, in the Mustang, it's like McPherson strut, right?
Yep.
And the spring is in the lower control arm. So your lower control arm is just this beefy hunk of stamped steel.
Yeah.
Right? Like sloppy bushings, ball joint out here, whatever, and they're short, right? So
yeah,
you don't have a whole lot of steering angle anyway. Okay. And I'm running like 9-inch wide fronts versus the factory 7-inch, and like no spacers or anything on it. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. So initiate, right? Go to full lock. And
destroy your wheel, or what did you do?
Well, I mean, it did. It destroyed the lower control arm is what it did. But not fast enough for us to notice what was happening. But like, I'd go to lock, right?
And then just full lock on the other side.
Well, no, it would be like hammering on the brakes, because the tire, the wheel, everything would jam up into the control arm, right? If you left foot brake in a corner, your car angles up, right? Yeah. Well, this thing, like, it would lock up the front tire, right? And the car would just like pivot. Right? Or, you'd try and catch it and you'd pull it back, and then it would just like fire it around the other way. So I got demoted from the pro class down to pro-am.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Right away? Yeah. So they're like, who's this guy that showed up in this Mustang and just like...
Josh, what about that one? Dude, I never ran the GarageBand, so I'm like sweating. I'm like, come on, run. Is it still recording? Oh, okay. So you got demoted.
Yeah, man. So I had to run pro-am that weekend.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. Like that's how my first experience drifting went.
Oh, that's like you whenever you tried to do Strato Bash. Remember?
Yeah.
You tried to get into Strato.
I tried to get into Strato Bash because this was my first year drifting, though. My first year, which was I was running the stock E46 with. When I learned to drift, I was running a 15-inch wheel with a 70 series tire.
Yeah.
Right? And so I only had scales experience, and all I could do was a figure 8. And I tried to go to Strato Bash, and I was politely told that
Decline.
You're not running Stratabash, like, which I also understood too, because after finally running Stratabash this year, that was only last year. I'm saying it like it was so long ago.
Yeah.
Only last year I was denied. But after running Stratabash this year and actually seeing how it is,
it's different track.
Oh
man.
wow!
It's really different.
Compared to an open day,
especially when you end up on a road course.
Yeah.
And you don't have that whole parking lot to play with.
It's like
exactly.
he's been out there in the ditch, dude. I seen Brendan he almost crossed. I don't know the turns that fucking Strato there, but he spun out and almost got onto the other side of the track.
Well, I mean,
what about that time?
you parked it up pretty high.
That's what I was gonna say. What about that time you were over the
Brendan.
So the first event I ran at Strato, I just about took out this Global News guy.
What?
Yeah. So like when you hit the grass, you're on track. You feel like you have all the control in the world, eh?
Yeah.
And it's like you drop a tire into the grass, and it's just like all of that control goes away, and it feels like you speed up by about 40 miles an hour. And anyway, this news guy, and he was like the calmest person in the world, because he's got that giant camera up, and he's got his like case or whatever.
Yeah, it's all
around,
set
right?
up. Yeah.
So he just like squatted down. The camera's still pointed at me. He picks up and he just like stepped out of the way.
As you like become an inch away from it.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't that close, I guess. Like, but anyway, I remember seeing that. I was like full on the brakes, and this guy's just standing in the middle of the field. There's no way I'm stopping.
I got lucky because the thing is, that was the first event that Stratotech allowed drifting again.
Yeah.
And so it was the second day. I was all stoked. I was like, oh shit, that's a lot of seat time. That's cool. So the guy, I don't want to put them in trouble or anything, but the guys that do tires were super overwhelmed. So I told them like put 40 psi because I was like if I put lower than that I'm just gonna grip because I was running Gretsch because they didn't have anything else. So I was like just put 40 and then I'll play with it. And they got back to me. We're at 25. So I was like, fuck it. Like there's too much of a lineup. I'll just go drive and then I'll see how it feels. I tried the first turn. It grips up. I'm like I'll just try harder. I tried harder. It went straight, and I fucking jumped the berm. And I was like, I don't want to be the first guy to hit the fence at Stratotech the first time they let us drift again.
Famous last words. I'll just try harder.
I'll just try harder. Man, what a fucking mistake. I ended up like a foot away from that fence.
Yeah.
So Matt talking about his wheels hitting his control arms.
Yeah.
That's very similar again to my issues this year, where I threw a new set of wheels on my car.
Yeah.
And spinning out like crazy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't feel anything, and I was constantly spinning out. And I was just kind of blaming myself, thinking like, what the hell is wrong with me right now? There's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
And we ended up going to Stratotech, and I was in a tandem with Dubé, and I kind of hit a little bump on like the carousel part.
Yeah.
And car spins out, and one wheel's like this and one's straight. I was like, what's going on here? So we get back, and we discovered my wheels have been hitting my tie rod extensions.
Yeah.
My GK Tech tie rod extensions, and
Just talk of it.
It just went through.
and that was causing me because it was doing what you said. It was kind of binding on my wheels, and
It's just like
spinning out.
it's just like hitting the brakes, man, and especially when you have that much angle into it, where you're right at full lock anyway.
Yeah.
Right. That little bit of brakes.
Yeah.
Will put you around, but it's funny because like with the issues everybody has along the way, very similar, right? And same thing. I didn't think that, the fact that I was spinning out so much was anything to do that with the sick new modifications I made, right? But you live and learn, right?
Well, it's like Ophir. You ever seen that video of Scales whenever he comes out the washroom and then he goes to transition and there's a big bang and the car stops driving? You ever seen that one?
I don't know if I've seen that one. I feel like I've lived that one.
wheel explode.
I was filming. It was this nice like 3-piece wheel. He comes out the washroom. He transitions. All I hear is bang, and I clink, 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 clink. I'm like, and the car doesn't run anymore. I'm like, he just fucking threw a rod or something like that. No, he hit the fucking wheel with his control arm and destroyed the wheel.
Wow.
Yeah,
wheel
blew it up.
completely exploded.
That's insane.
Man, that was scary as shit.
And the pictures from that actually made the rounds on like Facebook and that. He was in I'm not going to say the name of the Facebook page because it's got a bad word in it that I'm not allowed to say. It starts with an N. But anyways, this is on reps. And yeah, like it blew up on that page.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Somebody, like, and it wasn't even somebody local that posted it. It was somebody completely random posted it. And they're like, check this out. This guy's ESR completely exploded. Like,
and it was his fucking racing arts. Like his nice fucking racing.
That was his
oh no, that was his ESR.
It was
You're right.
ESR that exploded. His racing hearts took damage too, though.
Yeah, because after that he told me go drift my car, and he put the big fucking 3-piece on. And it was like, oh yeah, go drift it, no problem. I do a few laps, and we see that I hear like on the ground. So metal was scraping on the ground.
Shaving it. It shaved down the barrel.
It shaved down the barrel, but we couldn't find it. We were just like, oh, must have picked it up while we were drifting. So we took it out, and I kept going, and yeah, fucking it shaved the barrel like fucking probably 1/4 inch.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. But anyway, like, is it a thing that everybody that does drifting ends up doing road racing? What the fuck's going on with that?
It should be.
Why?
Just.
Yeah, you can tell me the argument that it's cheaper, because you can't drive for cheap if you drift like a G35 that's stock.
What you trying to say?
Well, well, you know what I mean.
Like, you can't. I'm not going to argue any point that says that road racing is cheaper than drifting.
Is it just like the grown-up solution after you stop drifting?
I don't even know that I'd go that far, but like drifting is 100% harder on gear.
Oh yeah.
Right?
It's one of the hardest part on gear. Like.
So, you know, everybody kind of goes through the stages.
Is it worth it to keep spending that money and?
But not necessarily the money, right? But you know, drifting isn't paying the bills.
Yep.
Right. And at some point, you know, you're working so much overtime to try and pay for the hobby. And then you have to take vacation to travel. Everybody wants to settle down eventually, right? And then, yeah, so it's just where you end up going with your career. You know, when I was younger, working for Cow Harbor, when I was doing the co-op stuff, I didn't have vacation time, but if I asked for unpaid vacation, they'd give it to me. So I was pretty much taking my summers off. Come up, I'd work a bunch of overtime in between, work on the car, and then we'd go on the next trip. And that was just how it was. And then I'd wrench on the cars all winter and work. The same as probably what you guys are doing now and how you guys are feeling, right?
Yeah.
At least in road racing, the goal isn't to get as close to each other or the wall as possible.
Good point.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're actually penalized, or not necessarily penalized, but they make you talk to an adult if you hit somebody or cause an accident, right?
Yeah.
The adults are called race stewards.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's familiar with F1, right? Oh, the stewards are going to be looking at that one, right?
Yeah.
Little contacts and stuff like that. But, yeah, it is just like that. The goal is not to... not to beat your stuff up.
Yeah.
Where in drifting, you know, we beat the stuff up. We come in, give each other high fives. Say, that was sick. Oh, it was so cool. We just rode off like 5 cars.
I don't know
Insert
what
clip
you're
of JC hitting me right here.
Right.
No, I suck at editing. I can do that.
But you guys know what I mean, right?
Yeah. It's part of the fun in drifting to be as close as possible without hitting.
100%.
That's the big thing. Like,
I like getting hit. I don't know why, but I get a rush from it.
I like giving it tap, not a full blown hit.
You know what?
I like giving it tap.
I've heard people say that about short track oval racing and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like they like getting in accidents, right?
Well, I'm not saying accidents, but like the times JC hits me, like he has hit me.
Yeah,
it's a laugh usually.
Yeah,
I like it.
And that's exactly what I mean. Like, there's pictures of me standing on top of my car.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've never.
Murphy'd.
Murphy'd. that term got coined as well. But, like, Tokyo has been there for a lot of it as well, right?
What's going on?
Hey, buddy. but the day after sometimes hurts. So even like I wrecked the Mustang at Castro one year. Again, made a bunch of modifications. We ended up it's really funny how it works, but you get used to driving one thing. So kind of take a step back. I got demoted from pro down to pro-am in the first event I ran, and then the next event was a year or two later. Me and Tokyo went to Penticton to run there. And anyway, they did the drift event day one, and then it was just like open drifting on the second day, and it was awesome. Penticton Speedway, hands down, awesome.
I need to go there.
DUI is always a fan. Drift Union Invitational.
Not an actual DUI. Just for the record.
Nothing from Mr. Bremner. Drift Union Invitational, folks. Okay, so that happens at Penticton Speedway, and it's always a good time. And that's where I went from like competitions and into team tandem, and that was always way more fun. We went down, we did final bout 2. That wasn't in the Mustang, that was in a Toyota Chaser. I had like a bunch of cars in between. But what's that?
So by the way, when can I have that?
It's you got to talk to James.
James.
Okay, can we not clip DUI is exciting and fun?
Man, DUI
is the best.
DUI is the best, yeah.
Is this an acronym? Do we know what the acronym stands for?
Yeah. I was just going to clip that, and it's just going to be Murphy saying DUI is the
DUIs.
best. But yeah.
DUI, not DUIs. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Jeez.
Welcome to Reboot.
I have a clean driving record, by the way.
Yeah.
So take that for the facts.
But So you went down there and you drove the fun day.
But the competition, and like after we got the angle and everything all fixed up, I went down, did a couple practice rounds, everything got used to the car, and then showed up in Penticton, qualified second next to Alex Lee. Yeah. And Alex Lee, he was always driving like the 4-door sedans down in FD, right? If you guys
no. It's gonna be we're like yes.
Yes, no, stop nodding your heads, yes. Okay, so anyway, Alex Lee was driving FD at the time. Rob Parsons, chair slayer. Yeah, okay. So Rob Parsons was always down with him, which is how he got in with the starting to know some of the Hoonigan crowd, those guys.
They were showing up at DUI or?
No, not DUI, but like the FD events.
Oh, right? Yeah, okay.
And then as he was getting his car finished, Tokyo and I convinced him that it was going to be a fantastic idea that he could jump in. Devin Horsley had a V8 swapped or a 1UZ swapped Corolla.
Oh, okay.
So it made like all kinds of torque, right? So strapped this paraplegic fella into the seat.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And he had his foot wedged on the floor, and he could push on the gas pedal. Like, he could push on his knee to, like, make his foot push on the gas pedal, right? So we pushed him until he could get it into first gear, and then, like, into second gear without the clutch, and then he was just out in the middle of the Penticton Speedway swinging donuts. But anyway, that's
with his fucking arm pushing his leg.
With his arm like on his leg to operate it, and then he just stopped with the handbrake and stalled it out. Right.
That's fucking hilarious.
But anyway, so like they got that video down south, and he finished his S13, and like the rest is history. He got to go down. I think there were a couple other guys that went down with him and helped him out. They all came back, but he stayed down. I think he's living in Salt Lake City now.
So who organized DUI? Just like
that's Sean Brown from Drift Union. So Sean Brown, Steven Thompson. Who was the fella in the Subaru? Do you remember? No. Tokyo? Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble if they see this.
Like which like the Ellis powered one or
no? It was a bunch of the purple cars.
Oh yeah,
are you guys that young?
Yes, what year are we talking about? What year?
2013.
2013.
I just bought my Dodge.
2013. I was in grade 9.
Yeah, I wasn't even close to a year. I was drag racing. I didn't
Josh,
know
where
what
were you in
drifting
2013? Grade 6?
Yeah.
Are you guys that
roughly?
Roughly.
Dude, that guy just turned 21.
Wow.
I'm 26, so I don't know what they're
25.
talking about. I'm 26. I'm not responsibly, monetary responsible, but I'm getting there eventually. But yeah, so it's just like a team that organizes
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Or-
So it was, and it was a team event as well, right?
Mhm.
So Drift Union was a 3-car team. The Hot Boys were a 3-car team.
Kind of like the final bout, the team competition, or
Yeah, and this is all pre-final bout.
yeah.
Final bout came around. So I heard about final bout because, oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one too. Who had that? Paul. What's Paul's last name?
The guy that you crunched in the Corolla?
Yes,
Paul Harrison.
I hit him, and he was.
What did you do?
So it's
You
Strato.
pancaked him or what?
No. It's Stratotech. It's hard to explain, but like, you could initiate super early in that complex through.
Where we run 2 layouts.
So you got 1,
at
2.
Stratotech,
Yeah, and then you
where
can,
you guys come across.
Yeah.
We were running full layout,
Yeah.
and he came over the hill in a car that weighs 2.5 times a Corolla.
Right,
What
and
did you do?
Paul angled up super hard, and I initiated probably.
You harpooned him?
No. I like we were like tandem side by side, but there's a good picture of because he's got like those old seal beam headlight bulbs.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
just glass everywhere, but like in the still frame because
Oh,
it's good. But anyway, he parked it. I maintained that he parked it in the corner. I apologize to him afterwards. He'll say the same thing. But anyway, Paul Harrison went down. He ran the original final bout, and then we all saw the pictures from that. And we're like, "Well, that was sick." And then so I was driving with Drift Farm at the time, so that's Colin Reeves, who was running the Drift Series, and Curtis.
Yeah, with
Gilbert,
the
yeah.
super nice Supra. Is that what he had?
So, but his drift car was an S13. And it went through so many variants, man. Curtis Goat had, like, he was like the Forrest Wang of Western Canada, right?
Really?
I'll say that. Like,
Like
it
King
was
of Style, or
definitely form over function for
Yeah.
that guy. But he was a wicked driver.
Well, he was driving that Supra at Stratotech, and everybody was like, "That's way too nice to be on track. Way too nice."
Yeah.
But how did the Drift Farm come about? Because they're from Edmonton, right?
Calgary, I think originally. So, and I don't even know really the whole backstory.
But how did you get into it?
Jesse Whitney, Curtis Goat. I think those are the guys that started it. There were a lot of guys that drove for Drift Farm, like along the way.
It was Sean Hawley as well, or
No, not Sean Hawley. Sean Hawley had his own thing going there with Clarion.
Oh,
Which-
gotcha. Yeah.
I bought his car later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then again, Colin Reeves is really, and like we're still really good friends now.
Did you guys go to final ball together, or
Yeah, so 5 of us went down to final bout.
at US Air?
US area, yeah.
Fuck, I want to go there. So
Man,
bad.
it's such a
Yeah,
good
I'm
track.
itching to go there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
such a good track.
Maybe next year, if we do Northern Bout again, we might just fund it like a team trip to final bout or something cool.
881 takes on final bout.
Yeah.
2024.
I asked him how much. I messaged final bout how much it was for like registration, and they wouldn't tell me. So I don't know if we're not allowed or
Well,
not cool enough. yet.
And like those events blew up, right?
know.
And even
Is
so, we got in because I'm pretty sure Curtis Goat's style was
Oh, really?
was enough. Like, yeah, legit. Those guys kind of took care of it. They had, the car design and everything matched for the 3 of them that were down in Calgary, and then we were already kind of part of the team, and then I said, okay, well,
Just jumped in and came in.
I'll commit to painting the car gray, and we'll deckle it up. And
Yeah, because final bout is like cars that are too nice to drift that tend them super hard.
yeah,
Super,
and
super hard.
it's awesome going down there. It's like the internet shows up at a racetrack for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's grassroots, right? It's not.
No, it's not pros really.
It's not pros or anything, right? But Hurt was there. Rob Parsons showed up, so that was really cool to go down to Wisconsin and meet up with some of those guys. The guys from Tandem of Die, right? So like Justin Shreve and those guys. Cool to see.
And that was what year? 2015-ish.
I don't.
Next time I'm
remember.
going to do a podcast with you, you gotta have like.
I gotta have a timeline. Yeah. I'm horrible with that
Jesus.
stuff. But probably 20.
2015, 2016. Because at that time you had the Chaser, right?
I had the Chaser.
So that's after Sean.
I was with
stuff.
Kehlani. I was in the house. So 2015. Because I'm pretty sure it was before the fire.
Was Sean like driving pro, like legit pro driver, or?
Sean was, yeah.
Yeah, because I seen his car Clarion and all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
it looked really, really cool. So.
Sean did a good job on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Sean's always been really good at marketing too.
Oh, is it?
Right? Like, so he was working. Oh man, Certified Radio. Thank you.
Oh, so he got plugged in with
so-
Carry On through that, or?
Yeah, so he was always talking to the reps and stuff, and then Clarion Canada picked him up.
It
So
looked
like,
wicked,
yeah,
man.
his car was always in the magazines and stuff. It was
Oh,
pretty
really?
Cool. Yeah.
That was wicked. I don't know him much, but he went as a special judge at Northern Bout, and fuck man, he's a wicked dude. He's super knowledgeable. Yeah. So it was Nikolai, Matt, and Sean. How did you like Northern Bout?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like as far as the competition goes, I think it's one of the better ones I've been to.
That's
Not-
cool to hear. That's
not-
cool to hear.
not so much like I just mean the atmosphere and all
That's
that
the
kind
big
of
thing.
stuff, right?
It's not too legit, but it's not too ratchet at the same time, right?
Exactly,
So
right.
it's just the good in between of like it still runs smooth, but it's there to have like a good vibe. You know what I mean?
And fortunately, I think it was good timing too, right? Because a lot of the hurdles that most drift competitions and everything that I've been involved with up to this time struggled a lot with rules and everything.
Yeah.
The fact is that again, guys like Ryan Lontang who have gone out, sat down with the FIA and actually put together scoring criteria and all kinds of stuff like that, and it really gives everybody something to go back to
as a reference point
to actually read up and score on, right? And none of that's a secret. You can go and find that anywhere.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's all public on the FDU on the FDU website.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I was the main organizer for that Northern Bout stuff. So my goal was to have fun but professional competition. So I didn't want to be too professional. I didn't want able seat and all that stuff because then you cut off guys like Cam Davis that has a super wicked car.
Who did
but he
unreal
doesn't.
too, by the way.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go full pro. You know what I mean? So it keeps the door open for those guys. And the fact that McAllen just told us, you have the parking lot, have fun, just be safe.
Yeah.
Fuck, the dude we're doing 3 or 4 cars tandem and at the end of the show just for fun.
I think we
it
had
was unreal.
6 at one point. I think we had 6 on track at one point.
Just throwing stuff around.
Yeah.
Because I think at one point we had Ophir, Mark, Brandon, Jesse.
It was unreal, dude. The spectators loved it.
Yeah, and so I mean that was good, and a lot of people left before they started doing the trains and stuff. Everybody was super tired.
Well, it's a long
Competition
day, you
stuff.
know what I mean? We started at 10 and we finished at 6.
One of the big things too, when it came time to do kind of the trains and just having fun driving, a lot of drivers were so warm and heated up in the race suit, and obviously we needed race suit even not during competition.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys backed out and didn't want to go back on track. from the
Well,
race
and
suit.
they had to travel and stuff too.
100%,
Lots of them
right.
just.
And it was crazy because a lot of them stayed for the night, and so Northern Light Mobile Tires, big shout out to those guys. They came out and they did the tires for free for everybody.
That's it.
So Pat, amazing guy. He just showed up and was like, "Yeah, I'll don't worry about it."
Happens to own a bar uptown too. So
He owns
everybody
a
stuck
bar now.
around.
Yeah,
it was good.
everybody stuck around, and since Pat did such a good job, they were like, "Fuck, we'll all go get a beer there."
You didn't get to make it.
No, because I was dying at the
You
hospital.
had to spend the night at the hospital, but the rest of us went up and
Yeah,
spent some time at Short Change.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. And then the competition itself, and I'm probably a little biased, Again, being the judge.
Yeah. That's
But you know, there's something to be said again for like the higher level comps and stuff like that, where you want to lay something out that's challenging, it's hard, you know, to follow, right? And we didn't make it easy on ourselves to judge.
Because the first outer zone's so fucking far. And
Well, but we made the track flow super well. So nobody had a super hard time driving it. We were holding them to, you know, hitting the zones and everything, right? And being well within them. We had to paint it out enough so that we could see pretty well exactly where everybody was. But it made for a full field of very, very close tandems.
Right?
Oh,
dude, it was wicked. The tandem was wicked. Never seen that close, and even that spectator guy, because the tracks are so long that you can't get that close, right?
Yeah.
But then when you get the airpin at Northern Belt, the guys were just on their door.
Yeah. So it was really nice because again, I think there were more spectators in closer proximity at this event. Again, the track was a little bit smaller. It flowed super well, but everybody that drove got to put on a good show.
And also allowing the drivers to, like, we stopped after the first bit of practice and let them decide on changes if they want to move the cone, move the zone a little bit, like make it flow better for how they were driving to put on kind of the best show they could.
One of the good reason why it worked so well, the track, like how it was so natural, is we had such a fucking wicked roster of OG. We had you, we had Sean Haley, we had fucking Nikolai, who's been drifting for you. Like you guys just walked the track. You made sure that every zones are optimal for the exact parking lot, and then even just to shut off. I think you came up with the idea to just let it flow.
Yeah.
You remember, just let it flow in front of spectators? That was the best decision all fucking weekend, man. It made the big smoke trail. Like, the spectators were all hectic about it. So,
yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to change about Northern Belt?
Oh man. If you asked me that week, I'd probably say yes. But I thinking about it right now. I can't really remember.
Yeah, it was it's a learning experience for everybody, you know what I mean? So even for us, we were super happy how it came out, but
I mean, safety is one of those things that always has to be.
But we need fucking something to catch the cones whenever they fly in the spectators.
That only happened once, luckily.
Luckily, because fuck man, the first time it flew away, I was like, oh fuck, we're getting
I guess it happened twice, but the second time it only flew at me and Andrew, so we don't count. So
you kind of pile your 881s anyway, so you're not gonna sue us.
We don't matter if we get hit.
Yeah, but for sure, safety, product placement, and stuff like that. Just in some of where the advertisements and stuff end up.
Yeah, because
going,
you were the title sponsor. Like what? Sponsor wise, what do you?
Well, and I mean,
for me, it's a matter of growing. You know what I mean? So I don't care if you tell me that sucked or that was good, because
for sure. But the stands are there. Nobody wants to be in the stands.
Yeah.
Right. So as soon as one person gets up along the fence, everybody wants to be up along the fence. And then that's where all your advertisements are. So now
that I noticed
everybody's
that one,
right? So nobody actually sees anything. If it's not mentioned on the speaker or anything like that, then it's just not seen. And then the other piece with that one is that was really the only thing between the spectators and the track too, right? So then they're that much closer to the cones that are flying.
That will need to catch it. I want the close experience, but you need to fucking catch fans, man. It was way too
100%. This isn't street racing.
Yeah,
right? And
So surprisingly, McAllen liked it. They didn't I did a full walk around after, just to make sure that I wanted to know if there's anything we could improve, or how they liked how the event was ran, and fuck man, they had stars in their eyes. They were like, man, we need you next year and shit like that. So hopefully
we get to see something like that again up here.
No, that was wicked. You're pretty close to your reservation there.
Yeah.
So fuck, thanks again for coming. That was wicked.
Hey, no worries.
You will have to do that again. But this is Mr. Matt Murphy. What's your handles?
The legend.
Reboot Racing.
Yeah,
obviously.
Reboot Racing, Fort McMurray, Drift Farm Matt. on Instagram, as well as Reboot Racing on it. There's a bunch.
They're
Matt Murphy Racing and Esports as well on Facebook. Yeah.
And is your Edmonton location still open as well?
Yeah, so we've got Reboot Racing Edmonton as well. So we're in the West Edmonton Mall, right underneath the movie theater there.
Plug
So,
all your shit.
yeah.
We're in Fort Mac with Reboot Racing. Fort Mac. What's the address here? Plug all your
yeah,
shit.
yeah. 170 McLennan Crescent. We're up in the Mackenzie Industrial Park.
Come and play. You got a wicked we'll show some shots afterwards, but it's a wicked place. So
if you're in Fort Mac or Edmonton, this is something you definitely got to check out. It's a blast. Every time we come here, we're laughing, and it's a time.
Yeah,
you get 6 people doing an endurance race like we did that night with me, Owen, Jonathan, and you driving by yourself. Like that was, it's a blast too.
And we'll do that video idea I was talking to you about. That one I'm really looking forward for it. So
what was the idea? We're gonna do
so 3 guys. I need green screen so we can project so it's 3 guys. I want to have the hardest track and the hardest car to make sure that they lose money because it's gonna be my $300
because it's cheap.
So basically, I want people to. So it's 3 guys competing for against each other. The one that does the fastest lap wins $300. But if he spins out or if he gets into an accident, every time he spins out or get into an accident, $10 taking over. And there's gonna be a cube with a bunch of ideas. And if it we shovel the cube, and if it falls on something, let's say you gotta do a full lap in reverse. So just shit like that, just for fun, right?
Just to screw with them.
Just to take money out of our pocket.
But I want them to all be on track at the same time too, so it's gonna be fucking chaos.
Yeah, so you get one guy that's driving in reverse, so some guy that comes up on his timed lap, just gets absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, just fucking wrecks all the way. So it'll be fun. But thanks again, dude.
Hey,
thanks for coming, man. That was super good.
Awesome, guys. We'll do volume 2.
Yeah. So anytime, dude.